Alright, we're back on this 2001 Chevy Silverado that's getting a short box put onto it. Today we're going to start looking at making the measurements and notes we need to make to slide the rear frame section forward. We'll end up grinding the rivets on the spring mounts on the front and shortening the rails, squaring everything up, sliding it forward, and seeing what we need to do to make the tire fit in the wheel well right and the cab to box clearance right. I think it's going to be about 14 inches from what I researched, but we're just going to throw the box over the chassis and double check that and line some things up and go from there. Alright, let's get on it. We did get dropped off some new front spring hangers and rear shackles and some new bump stops. Looks like some leaf spring angle shims for pinion angle. So we got that to work with. Also have a short box truck gas tank that should fit better once we move the frame section forward. You can see it's about a foot shorter than the old tank. So couldn't do it without this, so that'll make it work. Alright, I pulled off the shocks and got the rear axle assembly out of the way, spent some time and leveled up the chassis in all directions. Next up, I'm going to work on these front spring hangers, get those completely mounted and get them, where they're going to end up. 14 inches forward and about 3 inches up will be the front spring eye bolt. These are drop spring brackets. There's longer shackles for the back, drop brackets in the front, and different springs and stuff eventually will go on the front of the truck, so it'll sit 3 inches lower. But she's all leveled up. I capped off the brake line, so and capped off the axle line, so we won't have any problems bleeding that or putting it back together. Sitting on the lift lock right now, level, so it should pretty much be level no matter what lock I pick to put it on, but of course I'll check that back as I go. But alright, let's get moving on these front spring brackets and get those measured up and installed. Alright, we got the forward spring hangers all mounted in their new home. We took some measurements and some notes. We separated the rear frame section from the main frame. We cut off 14 inches from the main frame. Started making some notes where things are going to be. Everything's looking good. We got to clean up the rear frame section, prep that for welding, get it back down, measure everything up, square it up, and full weld it. Put the rear axle back in. It's coming along. That wraps up night 2 on this.